and just like try to get some good values. So like you can see on the side of the face, we have like the highlights. And last class, we actually went and like numbered all of the highlights that you might see. So like obviously like these ones will be ones, and like it'll gradually change. Like you can see like 1, 2, 3, it like gradually changes, especially on like the curves of your face. And that's what makes the soft boundaries. So like on the sides of your nose, even like it's still a very soft boundary going from like 2s, 3s, and like this weird 1. But going like, you have to keep looking at your reference photos, or like you won't be able to like tell where all the highlights and shadows are, because they're not like usual. You know, like you don't notice all these small details on your face when you look at yourself. So let's go, and like I'm gonna keep referring back to this and like using this as my reference photo. So we're gonna start off with the super light guiding lines. So here we go.
So Miss, that's large watercolor paper, right?
Yes, I'm just starting on my pretty big watercolor paper. And we're just gonna start off with that super light circle. And remember, like this circle, this determines the size of like your whole head, pretty much like the upper part of your head. So you don't want to make it too small. You want to fill up a lot of the page. I think this might be a little small. And it feels harder to work big because it's more surface area for you to cover later on. But you're gonna fill the whole page, and you're gonna, with like these bigger areas, you're gonna be able to get better values and more details in all your features. So going back, I'm looking at like this corner photo on my phone screen. I'm gonna put in a triangle. It's gonna be pretty close to the circle just because it's like my face shape.
And just to be clear, I'm not yelling in the chat, but I'm just kind of like reminding everyone that like art takes time, and it's like you don't just work in class, right? But follow Miss. If you're lost, follow Miss, and at least you could post this and you have a beginning. So Miss is working on the final paper. It's big, it's bumpy. If you never got a photo in the mail, you didn't upload one, then you should take a selfie and you're zooming in, you're drawing yourself or someone you care about. Okay, keep going, Miss, you're on.
Okay, so I'm just connecting like the lines to the side of the face, which makes the jawline. And I'm gonna try and like move this pod up so you can see the whole thing. Okay. So I'm gonna darken this up a little bit so you can actually see it. This is just like the guiding line of where my face is gonna go. And I'm gonna go back to my reference photo. Okay.
So Miss, how often are you looking at your photo as you draw freehand, like so many kids in here are? How often are you looking at your photo?
Honestly, if I had like the phone like on the desk next to me, I just keep looking back at it like as much as I can. I don't really have a number for you. Just like you're gonna have to like keep looking at it, because you don't notice all the small details of your face when you're just living your life. But when you start to draw things, you gotta look at like the specific features. So we're drawing that middle symmetry line that cuts your face in half. And then we're gonna draw in the eye line.
And you're going super light when you're doing that middle symmetry line, right?
Yes, I'm going kind of dark right now so that everyone can see it on the camera. But yes, it's supposed to be very light. Oh, okay. So halfway between the top of the head and the bottom of the head is where the eye line goes. So let's just try and map that out. It's going to be like around right here. So I'm holding my pencil super light and just going to draw that line right down the middle horizontally. And it looks like a big plus sign in the middle of the face now. And again, halfway below that eye line, between that and like the bottom of the chin, is where the nose is going to go. So halfway between here and here, just like about here, I'm gonna say, and you can always change these up as you start drawing in the features. You might notice it's like a little off. So you can always go back and change it, and like halfway between the nose and the chin again, from here and here, is where the mouth is gonna go, so probably around here. So now I'm going to go back to my reference photo again, make sure like the lines are as accurate as I can get them for now. And I'm gonna start mapping in the eyes. And especially if you're smiling, like the top lid of your eyelid is curved a lot more than the bottom lid. So like, okay. So like this lid right here, like that's a pretty like wide curve. And then like this bottom lid, it's almost flat if you really look at it. Like this, the starting portion of it right here at the corner. So like make sure you're looking at all of the details in your features and like put those into the drawing. So I'm gonna go back to my camera. And I'm just gonna draw in like an oval for now, just to like show where I want the eye to go. And like the distance from the middle, the symmetry line, to like the corner of the circle is gonna be equal on the other side too. So it'll start like around here. And the oval is also gonna be about the same size. So now we got the eyes in, or like the general shape of the eye. And you can like go back and forth between the two. And just draw those in. I'm gonna leave those for later and then start on the nose. So I'm gonna go back and look at my reference photo again. And my nose, I'm gonna start off with that circle in the middle, like right here. And I feel like this circle should be about the same size as like my eye, like this iris is gonna be. So just like ways to make connections to like different parts of your face. So I'm gonna go in and draw the circle right here. And like, I know for my face, like the corner of my eye lines up with the corner of my nose over here. So I'm gonna draw in some guiding lines for that. And it's just gonna look like a rectangle around my nose. And you can draw in the sides of the nostrils pretty much. And those are usually a bit more hard boundaries and soft. So I'm still keeping the lines light so I can erase it when I start adding value, but I'm just like drawing that in. And I'm gonna go back to the reference photo and look at like the way the nose is shaped. So like getting in the nostrils, it's like pretty round at the top. And then there's like that curve. So going back to the nose, like this nostril is like pretty curved right here, and that's another hard boundary. So I'm just gonna kind of shade it in. And I'm gonna make another one on this side and shade that in just a little bit too. And then there's this like curve right here on the nose. And this also changes, like you gotta look at your reference photos to see like how much it dips down or doesn't dip down on your particular nose. So I'm gonna erase the guiding lines now because I have like the general shape of the nose now.
This is really great, guys. I would do it with her so you have something. And if anything, you can always get another piece of paper, right? But you're working on big paper. We're doing a project of your face. You're looking at your phone. Grid people, you're working through the grid. You're working through those playlists. Non-grid folks, you're just looking at your phone. Okay, keep going, miss. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, it's good reminders. For the mouth, I like to just try and find references for like where the corners end, where like the tops of it begins, where the bottom ends. So the corner of my mouth kind of like lines up with the middle of my eye. So that's a reference that I'm gonna use. It's the same on this side, like it goes straight, like if you can see my cursor. I don't know if you guys can, but like the corner like pretty much lines up with the side, like the middle of the eye. It's just interesting like how our faces like kind of can match up to other features. So try and find guiding lines that you can use. So the middle of the eye is around here. And on this side, it's around here. And the mouth is like kind of curved because it's like a little smiley. I'm gonna draw in that. And I'm kind of noticing the circle lines, like the guiding lines I drew in earlier are getting in the way, so I'm gonna erase those.
And this goes for the grid people too. You got to erase your grid eventually. Now make sure you're going and you're drawing your little bumpy lines exactly how they are in the photo. You don't want to oversimplify your face because it's those little weird bumps and lines that will make it look like you in the end. So really like get those details.
Yeah, the details are what makes us.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So I'm looking at the mouth and usually there's like a bit of a curve right here, but since I'm smiling, it's like pretty straight. It's just like a curve, very straight curve. So I'm gonna kind of draw in some like the bumps that are here and here and just get like those small details in. And then like just draw like the general shape.
Miss, should they like draw a big outline on the outside of their lips?
I would say keep it pretty light. Like on mine, it's not really a hard boundary over here and here. Like once you start, I can't zoom. So once you like start adding value, maybe it's like a little bit more of a hard hard line right here, hard boundary. Maybe like over here. But like the rest of your lip usually kind of like, it's still skin, so it like blends in like with the rest of your face, if that makes sense. Like it blends out over here. So maybe this is like a value like 5 and this is like a value 6 or something.
Guys, in a second, sorry, Miss, we're gonna ask you to post your setup and that you're doing this, right? So you gotta really get with the program and be there, be present. Sorry, Miss, go on.
Oh, no worries. I'm just drawing in like this geometric shape for my mouth. Like getting in like a leaf kind of shape. It's gonna look a little funky like the eyes, but oh yeah, Brian asked, is the Nearpod?
I just fixed the Nearpod. I'm gonna post it, but we're not gonna interact with the Nearpod at the moment. Like we need everyone to like make some progress on their face and post that they're working first. But I am posting that to the stream right now. But please don't interact with Nearpod. Like, what's the most important is that we have momentum and we're getting this project done. So like do like a couple of squares, Brian, on your portrait.
I'm just drawing in like the curves that I see on the lips and erasing some lines that I won't need and making sure I'm like using these lines like very lightly. And I'm gonna erase more guiding lines over here. Okay.
So you're going super light, huh, Miss?
Yes.
Not really shading, just putting in reference lines, yes?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Getting the proportions right. What does the word proportion mean? Like the sizes. Getting the size of the nose ready in relationship to the lips.
Yeah.
Back, looking, checking. You got to stop, go back, look, check.
I'm noticing like my face, maybe I drew in the features are a little small, or like my face was too wide, so I'm like gonna go back and like edit like the guiding line on the side of the face. And I'm gonna start on my eyes now, and I'm just checking out like how far away it is first, like from the outside corner to the side of the face to get like the size down. So it's like maybe half an eye length. So I might redraw that line later.
I would say it's more like 3/4 of an eye.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard because you have to pay attention. Okay, where's the end of my hair or the beginning of my hair? Where does my hair start? You really have to divide your face into a bunch of shapes, guys.
Yeah.
Like it's totally an eye to the end of your ear.
Yeah, for sure.
So guys, this is what you need to be thinking about out loud. You know, if you're not doing the grid, right? You're kind of like measuring. You don't be afraid to post. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We're going to talk about that more in a second.
Yeah. I'm just getting in like this curve of the eye up here. And then like remember how like the bottom starts out pretty flat over here. Then also curves down a little bit and then curves back up. And I feel like the eye's a little flat. So I'm gonna erase my dark lines, because I'm noticing like going back to my reference photo, I feel like this line, like this inner corner, doesn't go like straight across and line up with the outer corner of the eye. The outer corner rises up a little bit. So it's not really like a flat, like, does that make sense? Like this corner goes up and like meets this corner.
That makes sense, miss. It helps if you guys, going back to like first quarter, think about your head as a bunch of ellipses, right? There's like a light curve. Your face is curved. So that's something we need to think about. That was nice, miss.
So it's like the corner's a little bit more up here. And then it kind of comes down over here. Yeah, eyes are hard though. And I'm gonna stop working on this one and go back to this one to make sure that I can get like the same kind of eye shape. And again, like this corner is gonna line up a little bit farther up over here. And like this corner starts out kind of flat and then goes a little bit more up at the corner over here. So they're getting a little bit more even. I'm going to erase some of these guiding lines. And then go back to my reference photo. And you can even like draw in the eyelids now. And maybe like the pupils, the irises. So I'm just like finding like the circle, like where does that go? Because if you're looking off to the side, your eyes are like the circles in your eyes are going to look off to the side too. And like where does the top start? Like do you see all of the circle, or is like the top part cut off? Like right here, like the top of the circle is cut off for me. So I'm going to go back.
Hey, miss?
Yeah.
Can I put you on pause?
Yeah, of course.
Guys, you can write like, you know, mean stuff in the chat for me pausing Miss Hibler.